Hi, this is Lee Phillips. I want to talk to you about a concept of asset protection. This is the concept according to Lee, okay? If you're walking down the street and you get your wallet picked, you're through, right? Or your purse snatched, you're gone. But if you've taken some of the money out and you take some of the money out of your wallet and you put it in your front pocket, then when you're walking down the street and you get your wallet picked, you've only lost some of your property, some of your money, right? That's a good idea. So what you do is you take some of the money out and you put it in your front pocket, put it in the other front pocket, you put the $100 bill under the sole in your shoes, you put some in your money belt, you stuff some down your underpants, you put some in your bra. No, I don't look good in a bra, don't worry about it. And the problem with all of that is when you walk into the 7-Eleven to buy a Slurpee, you've got to undress to make change. You can go way overboard on the concept, but the concept is perfectly valid. Don't keep all your eggs in one basket is basically what it is. And the lawyers, if you go see them, they're going to create this LLC and this corporation and this trust and this and this and this and this and this for you. I had a couple of doctors from Long Beach, California call me up 10 years ago, maybe even longer than that. One of the gurus in asset protection who was going around the country talking about asset protection, and he was sold on limited liability, or not limited partnerships. We didn't even have limited liability companies back then, hardly. And he'd gotten these two doctors, and they had 53 properties in California. And he had gotten them to agree to put each property in a separate limited partnership. Then he had said, well, you know, you don't want your limited partnerships registered in California because California is really expensive to register in. You need it registered in my state. My state's cheap, and guess what? I'll act as your registered agent, and by the way, I'm an accountant, so I'll do all the accounting. You doctors, you're really busy. You don't want to do all this. Short story is, he only charged him $5,000 to set up limited partnerships. That's $5,000 per 53 limited partnerships. And then, since he was acting as registered agent in the foreign state where the limited partnerships were actually registered, he only charged him $1,500 a year. That's $1,500 per 53 limited partnerships. These poor doctors, they call me up and say, Lee, we're not worried about asset protection anymore. Our lawyer has all of our money. How do we get out of this? Don't go overboard when you create these pockets. But creating a limited partnership or an LLC or a corporation or whatever it is, trust, that's basically creating another legal pocket that you can put assets in. And by having the pockets be separate. Now, one other trick that the lawyers love to do is they love to tie each one of the pockets together. Yeah, I've got my wallet in my back pocket, but I've got a chain, one of those big chain things, to my keys and my wallet and stuff in my front pocket. Well, okay, you get one of your pockets picked, the chain just pulls the other one out too, and away the guy goes. So the object is not to tie them together. The object is to keep them separate and distinct. You don't have corporation own all your LLCs and stuff. No, that's actually another story, but you don't want to do that. I want to add one more thing, and that is when the lawyer said to the doctors in California, you've got to have the limited partnership registered in my state because California is so expensive, he really screwed those doctors. Because unless the entity is registered in California, it has no legal rights in California. If I'm the tenant in one of those 53 pieces of property and I figure that out, I'm going to quit paying my rent because there's nothing you can do to me. You don't have any legal rights in California. That is owned by a limited partnership, not by you. And that limited partnership can't sue, it can't evict, it can't do anything unless it registers in California. And the funny thing is, if it's registered in one state and then you register in California, guess what? You're now paying the fees in the other state and California. Isn't that nice? Plus the $1,500 to have your lawyer or your registered agent in the first state act on your behalf, because you're not a resident of that state. So the whole thing was a total mess. 2 points there. You got to understand where you're creating your pockets, and don't go overboard. It's a disaster. But the legal pockets are certainly valid concepts for asset protection, and that's one of the ways we protect assets. This is Lee Phillips talking about a concept that I like to call legal pockets.